Welcome to PMI Manitoba's podcast series, Keeping It Real, where we talk about real stories, project insights, and community success. In this episode, Unpacking Your Skillset, the power of mentorship in the newcomer journey. Joining us is Jose Manuel Castellon, college instructor, project manager, and mentor at PMI Manitoba. I'm Julieth Guerrero. Welcome. Welcome to the PMI Manitoba podcast and to another episode of our Keep It Real series. Today, I am sitting down with Jose Manuel Castellon. His journey has taken him from Mexico to France and all the way here to Winnipeg, Manitoba. He's a project manager, a college instructor, and someone who gives a lot of his time mentoring newcomers in our community. In this episode, we are going to chat about what it really takes to move across the world, start over, and find your place in a new culture. Jose Manuel, thank you so much for being here today.
Juliet, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Let's start with your story. We always see the professional side on LinkedIn, on the resume, but I like to start this conversation asking you, who is Jose Manuel beyond the resume?
I'm from Mexico, like you said. I'm from a city called Mexicali, right at the border with the United States, right at the border with California. So literally 2 blocks from the border. And I think that gave me a really great perspective of living 2 countries at the same time. It's really complicated to explain it, but that's where my family and my father, coming from the center of Mexico, they tried to go to United States. My dad didn't like United States, so he decided to stay right at the border. And that's where he started his own journey, having a restaurant right at the border. So I grew up at the restaurant. I grew up, helping with the restaurant and sometimes even selling magazine and newspaper in front of the restaurant. So it was a real fun childhood that I had. Being at the border, I had the opportunity to be, a son, a father now, and also a professional, that I was able to develop my skills and that, I'll say, that ambitious of always trying to go beyond of your surrounding or whatever your environment is. And what I would say is, like being in the border, sometimes even though you're right next to another country, you think that the opportunities are right there. But the most important thing is that you have to build that bridge to get to that other country, right? So that's exactly what this conversation eventually will be about.
I like that picture that you are showing us. If you are in the border, you like to find bridges all the time and you like to eventually be that bridge between communities, between ideas, between projects.
You can have a country right in front of you, and that doesn't mean that you're going to cross the border. It's all about your initiative, your ambitious, your vision of what's out there. Let me go and see. Let me explore.
You had a great career in Mexico, but you packed one suitcase and moved your family to France and later to Canada. As an immigrant, what was the hardest part about stepping into the unknown?
The most difficult thing is for you to take the decision. But before even talk about the challenges of moving, I think most of the time, and especially for some of us that are adventurers, the most difficult decision is, do I want to stay there doing the same thing over and over? Or do I want to explore, and not explore the world, but explore yourself to how far can you go? So once you take the decision and you go, that's the part where it's really important for you to understand that sometimes what you do, like you said, I left my hometown, I sold my house, we sold everything, my wife and I. Having everything in a luggage, that's where you leave. That's where you have your credentials, your reputation, everything that you are. It's in one luggage, and you're going to move around. And then you're going to have to go somewhere else and unpack. No one has seen you before. No one knows you. So it's important for you to unpack and it starts showing up. You don't show everything at the same time, but it's important for you to understand. You have to unpack. And then you have to start showing who you really are and be visible and be part of the community and try to integrate yourself. So I think that's the most difficult thing to do, that sometimes for us is so complicated to unpack and to start showing and to understand that sometimes even networking is the most important tool for you to show everybody else who you really are.
Wow, that's a great answer. Actually, I never thought before how important it is to show what did you bring in your luggage when you are in a new place. Thanks for that. Arriving in Winnipeg is a big change for any newcomer. How did you find your place in this new community?
Well, I think for me coming to Winnipeg, it was a little bit easier than France. France, you have a different language, you have a completely different, I think Canada, Mexico, United States, we're not that different. Compared to France, it was completely different. It was a little bit challenging, and especially because of the language, of course. When I was in France, there was a lot of strikes happening during the year, and even for you to take the bus, you needed to check the strikes schedule. So when I arrived here to Winnipeg, there was a strike at the airport, and then there was one guy with one paper saying, "We're on strike." And I'm like, this is not what I was used to.
This is true.
I think here in Manitoba, we are like friendly Manitoba, right? A lot of people are really friendly. People are trying to help you. People are really trying to belong. They're trying to fit in the environment. There are a lot of opportunities for you to network. There are a lot of clubs, organizations to support newcomers, to go to, Manitoba Star. And I think it's all about you. You need, if we go back again to the luggage, I have to unpack. So continue thinking about that way. So now that you're here in Winnipeg, how do we connect? We learned that we needed to unpack in France. In this time, you're moving again. So no one knows you. So you need to start making connections. You need to start going around, go to events, go to expos, etc. So it's about showing up, but also show your responsibilities and your commitment to fit into the new culture.
That's true. Manitoba is the most friendly place in which I've been, especially coming from a big city, which is a very friendly place, of course, because my network. But when you're here, you feel like a different pace. You have the time to build your network from scratch, and also you have time. And I really appreciate how this organization gave us time to build our skills.
Exactly.
You are also an instructor at a college here in Canada. How does your own story as an immigrant help you connect with your international and also local students?
Well, education for me in Mexico was kind of like a hobby. So I was working in the morning, and in the afternoon I was teaching, because I identify that I have this charisma to bond with the students, to motivate students. And when I came here to Winnipeg, that was my way. I think teaching for me is kind of my way of giving back what I got when I was in university. I was shy, never thought myself of being a leader, but the instructors started identifying me as a potential leader, and they were pushing me to participate in conference, etc. So that methodology of thinking that what I earn or what I got from my instructors, I can give it back now to the future generation and to future students. So when I had the opportunity to join Red River College in this case, it was really interesting for me, because I love to share my best practices or my lessons learned, tell stories. It was a great opportunity for me to connect with the future leaders of Manitoba, and it's a great way for us to give back to the community.
That's a good definition of giving back, especially now that you are bringing up those memories from a school in which your instructors, your teachers were the first ones that saw in you this special charisma that you have to connect people, right, and to inspire.
Yeah, I heard one phrase from one of the PMI events. One of the speakers said, trust future generations, because I'm the one teaching them. I'm the one preparing them. And that phrase is, I will continue using it. And that's kind of like my motto now. I say it almost every term. Like, I'm really happy, guys, that you're now going to the, to the industry, to the world, because I'm happy that I was able to change your lives in one term.
Can you share a moment in the classroom that made you feel proud of the community that you're building with your students?
Probably my style of teaching is a little bit different. I learned that stories can help the students to stick with the content. So one proud moment that I always find is I won't say not one time, every time I see my former students around the city, because I always find students everywhere, when they come to talk to me and say, because you told me to do this, because you told me to act like this, or study more, or prepare, or go beyond, go the extra mile. I always find students thanking me for believing in them and showing them that they can believe in themselves. I don't know if it's properly explained, but most of the time, what I've been finding is that, and same as myself, I doubt about myself, you doubt about yourself all the time. If we go to our classroom and we ask for what is the best thing that you have, people will struggle to say it. But if you ask a person or student, can you tell me the bad things about you? We have a long list. So proud moment for my students, it's every time I see them and they're smiling, they're thanking me for, showing them, do not focus on the red dots, focus on the green dots, and you will change your career, you will change your future, and you will change anybody around you.
I'm going to steal you that idea. Instead of just having to-do list, instead of just having don'ts list, we can have good things about ourselves. I really like that idea. I'm going to implement that one because, sometimes we need someone that believes in us, and it is really hard when that person, in my case, for example, is not me. So I should be my first believer. Besides teaching, you give a lot of your time to the PMI Manitoba as a mentor. How did you mentor them?
Well, I learned a really great best practice, several best practices while studying my MBA in France. So normally what I do is all these different techniques, I apply them to me. So when I was moving here to Manitoba, I knew no one knew me here, right? So I needed to find a job because I was moving now with my family and my kids. So I had to apply every single lesson learned from the career advisors, master classes, everything, and I apply them. So now as a mentor, what I do is I tell the students everything, or the mentees from PMI, everything that I have learned. So I start always with, first, do not apologize of whatever you're bringing in your luggage, because that's who you are. And that's all the best practices that you have learned. So probably it's not the same as here in Manitoba or here in Winnipeg or Canada in general. It's just that you need to find the correct language to explain what you know and what you have to the current environment. So one thing that I like to do with my mentees is, first, let's do a reflection and an analysis about ourselves. So create a table and create a list of all the skills that you have, all the hard skills, all the soft skills, all the computer skills that you have, and all the things that you like. With just that, you can use a whiteboard, you can use a wall with Post-its, or use a window, just do it, write it. That way you understand yourself. Most of the time, the most difficult thing is to talk about ourselves. Whenever we get the question, who Manuel is? I don't know. So that first reflection is the first step to understand who you really are. Understand what you like. Then what you do is we move on to the next phase. Let's understand, based on what you like, what positions are available for you. Either what companies exist that are related to your likes, or what positions can help you to implement what you like to do. And then from then, what we do is we have like an Excel spreadsheet, start looking for all different companies, all different positions. The next step is let's start networking. I don't know if you have heard this, but A lot of people say 80% of the jobs that are posted somewhere, they're already taken by someone in the same organization, someone being promoted, and most of the times only 20 are the real jobs that are open. And most of the time you're not going to be able to get them by just applying to the organization. Again, people don't know you. And especially now with all technology, it's so complicated to apply for jobs or interviews. Let's go around and let's start meeting people. So start looking for who has a similar job like yours or who works in that organization that you would like to work, and then start setting up can we have a phone call? Can we have like a Google Meet or a Zoom call? Can we meet somewhere? Can we have or participate in a networking event or have a coffee and then go and talk to the person? What you do is you don't ask them for a job. That's the first thing that you shouldn't be doing every time you're going for a network. So instead of asking for a job is, can I know about what you do? Can I know about what are the challenges that you're facing? Or what Steve Dalton mentions, follow that tiara process. Tell me how the situation in the industry, tell me about yourself. Most people, we love to talk about ourselves. So first, let them talk. Then when they open the door and they said, okay, tell me about you. That's your moment. Now you can pitch. We prepare for elevator pitch. That's your moment. Talk about you. And what you're looking is for professionals that are called boosters. So people that eventually will say, I know someone, that it's looking for someone like you. Let me introduce you to this person. That's exactly what you're trying to do. So just this past term or this past program or cohort, I had the opportunity to work with one of my mentees, and everything that I was asking her, she implemented everything. She did every single analysis, which is, I know, it's not that common to find someone that actually listens to you and follows everything. So now she developed a kind of like templates that we are sharing with PMI, and they will be eventually distributed with everybody in PMI. So even if you're not looking for a job, it's always important for you to understand yourself. Now with that storytelling of who you are, where would you like to work, you can start making sure that your storytelling that you're putting together, it matches everywhere. It's congruent with your resume, your cover letter, your LinkedIn, and also during your interview. Every time you tell the story, it is all aligned and you understand perfectly.
It is great to hear that you have a methodology to navigate in this complex topic, which is the professional development in a new environment. Based on your experience as a project manager and consultant, what is the biggest difference you have noticed in Canada workplaces culture compared to Mexico or France, and what should newcomers understand about it?
Okay, yes. So first of all, the first thing that you have to understand is, yes, we're different. We have different environments. We have different backgrounds. And I would say, even though I have worked most of my time in international groups, also even in Mexico, because I was working for an American company, you need to understand that the first thing that I will say, you need to understand to be respectful. You have to be respectful with everybody around. The difference could be from the countries, like for example, in Mexico, we are very social. So it's very easy for you to be around and to even go at the end of the week, during lunch on Friday, everybody goes out. So I can share one little thing that happened to me when I joined the aerospace company that I work here in Mexico. What we do when you get your first check is you invite your coworkers to go out for lunch. So I cook in my house and I invited everybody. And they're like, why are you inviting me? We don't invite each other to our houses that often, or even if I don't know you. But in Mexico, you're very social. It's all about, connections and people knowing you, and you're very social all weekend. So that was a really, cultural shock in that group. But then people start knowing you, that you're coming from a different environment, and it's a little bit different here in Canada. But at the same time, you need to understand and adapt to the new culture. Right? In France, it was more about every time we were going for lunch, it might take, a longer time for lunch, more relaxed. Don't be too in a rush. We can do it. We're going to do it. but don't pressure things. And in Mexico, everything it's about moving and moving and moving as well. One thing it's, like it might take a little bit longer to do it, but let's plan it, or what I always tell my students, we do a lot of reflections here as well. So in general, I would say that, but I think nowadays, with all the technology that we are having, it's all about how do you do it more efficient? How do you do it faster? How do you do it, with less effort? And how do we make sure that all the lessons learned that I'm acquiring, helps me to start avoiding making the same mistakes? It's about systems, it's about connectivity, and it's all about how do we solve problems? And I would say those skills that we promote in PMI, they are universal and you can apply them anywhere. So focus on the universal skills that you have and then replicate them everywhere that you go.
Thank you for sharing that. And I agree with you. In Canada, everything is about planning. There is probably a newcomer listening right now who feels overwhelmed with this new environment. What is your best, most real advice for them?
The best advice that I can give you, you're gonna make it. Stop worrying. Sometimes we worry too much. And I know, I've been there twice. It's so complicated and we focus a lot about the red things. And it's not about just getting any job, right? It's not about just getting any job. Sometimes we feel desperate that any job that I get, it's okay because I have to start over. It's not about that. It's about how do I prepare myself to get the job that I really want to do. And most of us, we have the opportunity moving here to Manitoba and to Canada of reinventing ourselves. So take that opportunity. Learn what you're missing. Understand what is the likes that you have, that you would like to explode, that you would like to focus on, and then start engineering your new job. Start thinking on how to put all the steps, in order to make it. You heard my methodology of getting a job. So follow it. And eventually there will be more information coming up from PMI about how can you do it. We eventually will share that template, but don't get desperate. That's the worst thing that you can do, getting desperate, because most of the time you will end up in a job that you're not really enjoying or that your skills are not being developed or being actually used. So let's focus on how do we get all that talent from you in the correct place. Let's prepare a plan to get you there.
Yeah, and I can add an advice is find a mentor. Everybody needs a mentor. I had one of my difficult moments on my own immigration path. And she was the person that inspired me to accept my background, to acknowledge my strengths, and to show up in an organic way. I remember that she was talking to me about stop to pretending that we are just one part of our history and just tell them our complete history in an organic way. And the cultural match is how we connect all these skill set that we bring to a new place and how we can support companies, teams in the moment in which we connect that not in a forced way, just in an organic way, something just happened. Everybody deserves to have a mentor like you, Manuel. And thank you so much for being in this episode of Keeping It Real with us today and for everything that you do for our community. It's been an absolute pleasure. So if you want to share how people can connect with you or how are you participating in the PMI Manitoba events, just go ahead and send the invitation.
Yeah, sure. Find me on LinkedIn. That's the best place to connect and to share. So you'll see my name, Jose Manuel Castellon Alvarez. I know I'm very long, Mexican. But feel free to connect, and every time if you see me in PMI events, just come over and we'll talk and I'll hear your story.
Thank you so much. And to all our listeners, thank you for tuning into the PMI Manitoba podcast. Reaching goals is about the plans that we make, but also the stories that we share. See you in the next episode. Bye bye.